Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Coffee and Craps with John from Pro Craps here on Casino Gaming TV. Going to get our day started like we always do with our Hawaiian Crap Shooters 4-roll challenge. We're back to it today after yesterday's tribute to the folks there down in Texas. So here we go. Same essential setup as usual. I'm going to go with, I think, a quarter on the pass line, and we'll go with 320 across again. And what I'm going to do differently today, though, is I'm going to handle my wins slightly differently. You'll see what I do here in a minute. If I can get some, let's see how it works out. We're going to go 320 across. That's $50 per number. A nickel change, 25 in the pass line. Let's get our first point. And if we do happen to get some wins here today, if I can throw the dice pretty well, I'm going to just try something for fun. Again, this is a challenge that Brian wants us to do to sort of, get our toss dialed in, obviously. It's not so much about the betting, but if we can get 4 tosses in, our bet should work. And for me, it's like just a fun way to try something crazy with the bets to have some fun in the morning. So here we go. We're going to get them set up. They're stacked. Out they go. First toss of the day is a 1, 2, 3, ace deuce, which kind of sucks because we lose down here. I really should have been out there for $10. Now I'm kind of screwed. What I really got to do here is reduce one of these 2 down. That really sucks. To get nickels out so I can go back, I'll go minimum pass line, or 50. I guess he's going $15 pass line. And I'll make the 4, we'll make the 4 just $40. So it's a little light down there in the end. Not a big deal. Here we go. Let's get a point established here and have some fun. Here we go. Dice are out. There's a 4, 1, 5. That'll be our point. First point's going to be 5. Let's get 4 solid rolls in here. Make some money, shall we? Here we go. All right, stacked. And we're flying. That's a 6. That's a 4, 2. 4, 2, 6. I'll put them right here in the middle. 4, 2, 6. That'll pay $70. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the 50 and I'm going to press up like this. We're going to take the 4 nickels that we've got, and I'm actually going to grab hops. We're going to go ahead and hop the sisters, the 6 and the 8 for 5 each. I'm going to take these 2 quarters and I'm going to press to the outside and do it that way. There's hit number 1. So I'm going to hop the insides here. We're going to press the ones next to it and kind of move out that way. So if we get another inside hit like that, that's great. It's just extra cash. We're just going to use our chump change, as Vince would call it, on the hops instead of in the field. Here we go. That's roll 1. Here's roll 2. It's going to be a 6, 6, 12. It does nothing for us. What a bummer, right? We lose $20 on the hop and get nothing out of that roll. What a waste. What a waste. But again, without warming up ahead of time, I always do this cold. Maybe that's not smart, but I always do this cold. You get what you get, right? There's a 5, 3, 8. That's roll 3 is going to be an 8. Let's mark the roll 3. The 8's again like the 6. It'll pay $70. Okay. And once again, I'm going to grab the 2 insides. Let's take the 6 and the 8, and we'll hop those as though we were pressing them. And we'll bring now to the outsides, we'll get our 4 and 10 pressed up. So we have 75 on the 10, and I've got 65 on the 4, but a little bit light down there in the end. Last roll, I'd love to get a 6 or 8 and we hit one of those hops. It'd be awful sweet to end strong if we can. Here we go. Let's get it done. Dice are out, and that's going to be a 5, 4, 9. Wasn't a hop win, but we'll take the win, right? I've been getting my butt creamed out here the last few times we've done this. So that will end up losing. We've got 75 on the 9. That's cool. Pays $105. And effectively, that's going to be most of the profit right there is what happened there. So let's go ahead and mark ourselves up. Let's see. We've got 25. If I take my pass line down, that's 50 in reds. Let's color all these greens up here and see what we have. There's 4. There is 300. If I can get my chips right. 350. That's our starting bankroll. There's 350. So we walk out with 180 bucks. It's, again, that's not opera tickets, but it's okay, right? We're singing a little bit of happiness there. 4 hits, 4 rolls, 175. If you can take that on any Tuesday, you'd be happy with that. So I'm not going to complain about it, but again, a challenge like this, you're trying to double up. We've actually doubled this thing up a couple times. So there's your Hawaiian Crap Shooters 4-roll challenge. Again, our thing that we do every day, and welcome to the show. Now, one thing you may notice is I'm wearing the same shirt I was wearing yesterday. It's because it's the same day. We have a situation here. Not a big situation, but Comcast is coming tomorrow, which is Thursday morning. This is, again, May 26th. Comcast is coming in the morning. They're going to turn our internet off from 6 a.m. till about noon. So I'm going to have no internet, can't do a live show tomorrow. So I'm just going to film tonight, straight shot, live as we go here. I'm just recording it and uploading it as a premiere so I can watch it with you on my phone and I can chat with you tomorrow morning or now. But this is not live. This is actually me talking as though you were here. It's weird not seeing the chats and being able to talk to y'all, but it's the morning show that we know and love here. I'm just going to be talking to myself for the next hour or so. And that's it. So let's get to the announcements here. Actually, some pretty good stuff going on in the craps world. Let's go to the screen here. We made it. That's the first announcement. About an hour ago, I got the notification that we hit 500 subscribers, which doesn't mean a hill of beans in terms of anything other than it's cool to get to 500 with this channel. We started this channel not very long ago, and it was started in response to the Pro Craps channel getting dinged really hard by YouTube because of all the live shows we were doing. The live shows actually kind of hurt your channel growth on YouTube, and we weren't reaching any new people. So we decided to move all the lives over to here, and I thought, let's help Jeff and Chris and whoever else wants to come along. We'll do all of our lives on one channel and kind of save our regular stuff. Well, that crazy idea has turned into this show and Craps Chat and, you know, the Friday night fights, and this channel's becoming much more than just about, you know, John's live shit. It's everything. 500 subscribers is big. We get to do polling in the chats now. I get to send you announcements in the community tab so I can do like a post with words on it instead of always just be my morning video. So more ways for us to communicate with you, which is very cool. I'm stoked about that. Milestone 1. The second thing, George made it. So if you've been following the drama at all about the Pass the Rack Challenge, so I passed it to Ed. Ed passed it to Sarge. Right, Sarge turned it into like a 4. I'll show you the chart here in a minute. And it got to George, and George rolled it out, won the money like he was supposed to, but he misread one of his rolls and ended up, I think, paying himself when he shouldn't have. And I'm not sure how bad it changed the rhythm of the roll, but somebody called him out on it. And besides calling him out, they called him a liar, which was kind of BS. And George was really upset by that. He went back out and tried to re-roll the whole thing again, and he was in a bad state of mind and didn't do well. Well, he went back again and reran it again from 0 and did it. So about literally like 20 minutes ago, I just finished watching the video, just finished it. This evening, he finished it. He got it up. I'll show you his total here in a minute, and just real proud of the man that George is and what he put into this and the guy's integrity. You don't have to love him. You don't have to love dice control or any of that. I know some of you don't. It doesn't matter. The man, solid guy. So I'm proud of George. I'm glad he got it done, and the rack moves. You have to watch his video to find out who he passes it to, and I'm excited to watch that one. I can tell you that. Friday night fights coming up here tomorrow night. It's going to be the new king of the mountain, which is Chris from Sideshow Gamble. The player who was next up had to cancel because his wife bought him concert tickets and he can't make the show. Fine, we're going to move him back down to the end. And next man up is going to be Badger. So Badger's going to be coming in and playing. Thanks for stepping up and being the next man in play. So you get to play Chris tomorrow night. That's going to be cool. And again, tonight, the Dice Jedi, our dealer friend from Las Vegas, will be here to join us. He's going to run some 6 and 8 press moves with us. And I may or may not be there on the call. I mean, I'll be there on the phone, but I may not be at my table. I'm going to be traveling in the afternoon tomorrow, so I'm going down to Oregon to see my son. I'll bring my chips with me, and if we can join the show, great. I'll work with him a little bit, but it's really his gig, man. He's going to take it over. He's going to show us zero to hero how to be great home table dealers, which is awesome. So loving where that show is going to be heading. And that's the big set of announcements here for this morning. And while we're talking about it, let's look at the Pass the Rack stats. So this challenge stalled a little bit just because of the whole, Sarge was on vacation thing, but we lost about a week of momentum, but here we are. Again, Roll to Win Ed turned what I gave him into $14,000. He gave it to Sarge, and Sarge turned that into $24K, which is awesome. George about doubled that. George took it to $47,681 tonight and has passed the rack. So there's your running tally of the Pass the Rack. And as this thing moves along, I'll get in every day and we'll kind of get this thing up. But George did a great job. George took 2 days to do the entire thing from zero to hero. He built the entire rack, which is fantastic. And as he does, man, he teaches the whole way through, and he dissects his rolls, and he does the work. The guy's transparent. He's a hero, man. The guy's awesome. So watch the video, listen to what his words are, because he has a lot of good things to say throughout, especially at the end. So enjoy that. And thanks, George, for getting it done. The Crapping Out Cancer, the Crapping On Cancer, or Craps for the Cure, I think is what Steve was going to probably have us change the name to. Making progress here. Quick little idea or update here. Steve's got us hooked up with the American Cancer Society for the donations. The donations will go directly to ACS. Again, we don't touch any money. Whatever we do is going to go direct donation right to the ACS. And we're negotiating here with a couple of local casinos who shall remain nameless until we have deals underway. But we're working really hard about getting us to film the entire Crapsathon in a casino live with dealers, with the pit, with all the shenanigans of a casino. And yes, you're all welcome to come and play up here with me and everybody else in Washington, live at our casino for 24 straight hours. It's going to be the bomb diggity if we can pull this thing off. So that's where that is. I'll let you know as we get more information. I will keep you abreast of how that moves on. Now, where we are today in the show, we've been working this kind of risk management psychology thing the last couple of days here. And now we're into, and yesterday's show was a weird one, right? Yesterday's show, I was kind of like not in a great headspace. We were talking about the Texas thing, which is, as you know, freaking disaster, right? And I wanted to talk about in the moment. I think playing craps in the moment, making decisions at the table in the moment, you can do good and you can do bad to yourself there. And I guess it was part of a larger message about living your life in the moment too. You only have so many moments, you know what I mean? And I think being aware of where you are in space in the moment is always a good thing. At the craps table especially, it's an important thing to know it, right? And that was yesterday's kind of talk and rollout. Well, today we're going to look at risk again. And the psychology I have here is how do you math, right? Laddering, progressing, pure probability, whatever it's going to be. What I'm going to do this morning is I'm going to show you some win crap scripts today. So I was talking to somebody in chat about, the things that I say, sometimes people take them, I don't want to say offense to it, but they go, oh, you've got this wrong, or you're making the wrong determination or whatever based on what you're saying. And so we go back and forth a little bit, and we suggested, hey, why don't we run 5 win crap scripts? Let's write it up. Let's run 5 things that are similar enough, but that talk through the risk that we've been talking about and give you kind of a sense of where risk lies in these different ways of playing. And I got a really interesting, I think, set of graphs to show you here as this thing comes out. So again, we're at the bottom of the list here. Today's topic is going to be this bottom thing, which is the EV, the average amount won or lost on a bet. And again, this is about time, right? We talk, and we've been doing the 6 and 8 because they have the highest probability versus the 7. And we're trying to get a sense of, like, over time, how often can you beat the 7? Can you beat the 7 enough times with either of the numbers to win? I think that, just the 6 versus the 7 is a tough one. The 6 and the 8 versus the 7 is better because you have more chances to win, more probability to win. However, as PJ points out very clearly, and I think very truthfully, or obviously, whatever the word is, when you're betting the 6 and the 6 and the 8 against the 7, okay? If it's just the 6 for $60 versus the 7, right? You get 60 bucks at risk, or let's say it's 120, 120 on the 6, risking 120 to win 140. That's the normal ratio. When you're betting the 6 and the 8 at 60 bucks each, you have the same 120 at risk, but you're only gonna win 70, right? So you're risking 120 against the 7 to win 70. So your win ratio goes way down, right? That's important. And I don't think I've ever highlighted that point. And it's a great point that he makes. And we should embrace that because it's truth. When you have more targets, yeah, the probability that you win on those targets is higher. However, you're risking a lot more to win a lot less per bet. And that's kind of the gut punch of doing it that way. So I want to make sure we call that out today. And the scripts that I run today are going to showcase that exact thing. Actually, we're going to run those two scenarios side by side. I asked you earlier in the week to build your favorite 2-number strategies. How can you play with just a 6 and 8, just a 4 and 10, just a 5 and 9, with any one of these systems that we talk about? I've been running this kind of this parlay kind of system all week, which I really, I don't know if I dreamt it up. It came to me, when I was having coffee one morning. I thought, let's try this out. I'm liking it. I'm winning a lot of money with it here in the house. You're going to see when I roll this out in WinCraps why that is. It's interesting strategy. It's not the be all end all, but it's fun. And it really does speak to risk as we're talking about all week. So what we're going to run today is 5 strategies side by side at the same time in WinCraps. One's going to be just a 6. We're going to run the 6 against the 7, one hit and down, right? We're going to run the 6 and 8 together against the 7, one hit on either of them and down. So 10 targets, one win, and we're out. On that 6 player, right, that player is going to win 140 on every hit. The 6 and 8 player is going to win 70 on every hit, but they have a better chance of getting it. So we're going to see that's going to be an interesting, I think, kind of a grudge match there. Then I've got the next player is going to run the 6 and 8 for one hit. We're going to parlay the wins like I've been doing. So you have a $60 6, a $60 8. They win 70. We're going to parlay them both up to 90. We're going to put all the winnings back in play again, take a second hit and come down. So one-time parlay and we're out of there. The next player is going to do the 6 and the 8, and they're going to half press every single hit. They're just going to half press into oblivion, long runs, whatever. And the final player is going to be playing this parlay progression that I've been doing, which is start at 60, take a hit, parlay them both up. So from 60 to 90, if you win the parlay, your next bet is at one level bigger than your last bet was. So your new base bet is 90. If you win that, it's 105. You parlay it all the way up to 138. If you win the parlay, you come back down and your next bet is at 120. So you keep laddering up progressively your base bet on the wins so that your parlays get to be way higher, right? And you're going to use their money against them the entire way through it. That's been on my mind the last week. I've been rolling it out a lot, like I said. Let's see how it works. I'm going to go to WinCraps here in a second. I'm going to give us a $10,000 bankroll, mainly because I want this thing to have a lot of time. So if we have a really shitty run, I want to see it work. I want to give it a chance to run over a number of rolls, a long number of rolls. We can see how the impact of these things is over time. And how each way of playing experiences the same set of rolls and the same kind of ebbs and flows of a table. I want to see if the graphs actually match each other or not. And we're going to be always working. I'm not bothering at all in this strategy, in this breakdown here with the point. The point I'm going to say doesn't matter. We're just going to play the 6 and 8 against the 7, pure probability, always working. I can rerun this again, and I may run it again next week if you'd like to see it. Leave me a note in the comments if you do. Run this with the puck. So where the puck is determining whether we're on or not, whatever, it's a rhythm thing. They're all going to win or lose for the same reasons. If the puck's on or off, it doesn't matter. They're all still going to win or lose at the same thing. What the difference is when you're always working, and you're the thing with always working is that you can get 5 come out 7s in a row and just get your ass kicked, right? That's the one piece. But all these strategies will get their ass kicked the same, right? At the same time. It isn't like one's getting beaten, one's not. That's why I'm going to leave it this way and do just the numbers, just, reaching into the bag of marbles. Can I get a 6 or an 8 before I get a 7? And that's it. So with that said, let's switch over and go to WinCraps, and I'm going to show you the scripts that I wrote the kind of the logic behind them, and then I'm going to run them out. We'll run them out a few times to get a sense of sort of how they perform. So let's go switch over to the screen here, and I gotta actually get out of this for a minute. Hang on a second. There we go. Okay, so here are the scripts, and I'll walk you through the code here. I don't want to bore you with computer programming, but I'm going to give you the idea. Okay, the first script is the 6 and 8, one hit and down. Okay. Essentially speaking, if after a 7 shows, we're going to go 120 on the 6, and we're always working. That's the entire script, right? If the 7 comes, we replace our bet. You'll notice that auto handling the winning bets, we're going to take the bet down and the winning. So if we get a hit, it comes back to the rack with whatever we won. That's the easiest script, right? That's the just place the 6 for 120, and that's it. The real comparison here is going to be this one. This is going to be the same idea, only thing instead of a 126, it's going to be 60 on the 6 and the 8. That's the only difference. So we're going to do 2 bets at 60 instead of 1 bet at 120. Here we increase our probability. We keep our risk level the same, but the reward is half. The reward goes from 140 to 70. But my theory is that on this one here, you're going to win this more often than the other one. I wonder if you win this, twice as often as you win the other one, exactly, and both strategies win the same money. That may end up being the case. You may end up having twice the amount of wins here versus the other side. Our bet levels are the same. I bet these two are pretty close together when all is said and done. Our third player is going to parlay it once. And here's how this is kind of getting complicated here, but I'm setting a little variable here called parlay. The value is 1, which indicates you have to do a parlay. 1 means go, 0 means no parlay. If we have a 7, then we come out with a $60 6 and 8. That's our base bet. And we're setting the flag that says, if you get a hit, you're going to do the parlay. Now, if any bet wins and we're supposed to parlay it, we're going to move those bets to 90 and then turn the parlay like little signature thing off. Okay. If we get a hit and we're not parlaying, we're going to remove all the bets, and that's it. End of story. So we basically say first hit, go from 60 to 90 on both. On the second hit, bring all the bets down. That's the entirety of this script here. So those 3 players, 6 place it for 120 and come down, 6 and 8 for 60 each and come down. This one is parlay both of them with all of your winnings for 1 hit and come down. The next one takes that one a step further. There's a little bit of math in here where we're going to do the work of figuring out what the next bet level is. But essentially speaking, it's this. We're going to basically track our unit size here. So we're going to start out with 2 units, which means $30 times 2 units on the 6 and 8. So your first bet's going to be $60 in this case. The same rules apply. If we're going to be in a parlay situation, then our parlay is going to be this calculation here, which is basically half of your win on each of the numbers. That's all it means. Take the most you can bet. So if you get $105, you're going to bet whatever that's going to be, 60 or $52 divided by 2, whatever it's going to be, right? I think it puts them up by $48 each. So this sets the parlay amount with the most that you can do. We put that on both the 6 and the 8. So both of them get parlayed by half of your win amount. If you win, here's the difference. We're going to go ahead and bet $30. That's a mistake in the script. $30 times the number of units on the 6 and the 8. And we're going to have our parlay flag reset again. So basically, you're going to parlay once, come back down to a new base. Your base is going to be 1 unit higher. So after the first one, the base goes to 30 times 3. Then it's 30 times 4, 30 times 5. It's going to keep increasing the base. That'll get bigger as we go. And of course, because the base is bigger, the parlays get bigger, and your bankroll should increase much quicker over time. I expect some extra volatility here, okay? And of course, our last player is going to run a half press forever. All he's going to do is start with a $30 6 and 8, and that's it. We should probably start him off with 60 to make it fair. We're with the other folks. And then every time he wins, he's going to bet his last amount on whatever the dice were. So the last bet on the 6, the last bet on the 8 times 1.5. So half press. That's going to be the whole thing. So there's your 5 players. I'm going to make sure I reactivate him because I changed that a little bit. All right, let's go ahead and minimize that. And here's the screens. We're going to go ahead and get a new game. I'll save that script. And we're going to go ahead and start the counters here. So what's going to happen is I'm going to start these off. You're going to see all 5 players going at the same time. It's going to go relatively slow. We'll see how much volatility there is between them and who's winning and losing at higher or lower rates. If anybody ever gets to 0, the game will stop, and we'll do it a couple times just to get a sense. So here we go. I'm going to start it off the first time through, and let's try and watch the graphs. For your reference, where people are is this. Top left is the one and done. Top middle is the 6 and 8 one and done. Top right is the 6 and 8 one-time parlay and done. Bottom left is the half press guy. Bottom right is that tiered parlay, which has the higher volatility. And I'll read off, I know the screen's small. I'll read off the numbers to you when we're all done, so you know who did what and how much. So here we go. Let's hit one of the buttons here, and we'll get it started. Oh, what happened? Did I not restart the game? I thought I did. Let's try it again. Whoops. Start. There we go. Okay. Now they're going, and you can see already the guy on the bottom, right? He's already at 0, which happened really fast. Okay. Each player, by the way, started out with the same amount of money, $10,000. Let's look at the totals. All right. This will be interesting. I'll zoom. I can't zoom in, but I can read, and I can read them to you. I'll write them on here. The guy who did just the 6 only, his total, if you can see this, his maximum was 10,260, and he's currently at 8,800. Okay, and you can look at like the shape of these graphs. They're all the same basic shape, except for these two down here. They experienced, that guy has about the same shape, but look at the difference in volatility. Anyway, 6 and 8 both. So again, 120 at risk, 120 at risk. This guy here has a high score of 10,260. So at one point, they both had the exact same amount of money. Right now, this guy has $9,450. Okay, he stayed a little bit closer to home. He had a little less volatility. Okay, he was more close to to even by having 2 numbers versus only 1 number. But at most, they both made about the same money. The guy that's parlaying one time and coming down, so he takes the hit, then he parlays it, and then he comes down. These 2 players are very, very similar. Okay, he's taken the extra hit. Okay, his max, 10,240. His current level is 8,750. All 3 of those players hovered around a $250 win. They all ended up, right, with about $1,000, whatever, $500 to $1,000 loss. And actually this guy here, 8,750, and the first guy, that was also their low point. The guy that played both the 6 and the 8 never got below 94.10. His worst time ever was 94.10. He never lost more than $600. That's interesting. A little less volatility. The half press guy, look at this, man. He had a huge spike. Matter of fact, his high was 13,377. He must have caught, there must have been a really good run somewhere in here for 6s and 8s, back to back to back. Remember, these guys here, they're getting out. They're taking one hit and they're going bye-bye. This guy here is riding that wave up. He's not getting out, which is interesting, okay? Big high score of 13,377. His low was 9,623, and his current is 10,053. So he's actually showing a profit after 200 and something rolls. Now the last guy is interesting. This is the guy that runs my new favorite thing, the tiered parlay system. He's at 0. This guy here lost his ass. Everything is gone, okay? But his high score, 17,406, okay? That's huge, right? These two have the same spike. You can see that same spike here. The reason why it's not as tall is because the sidebar, because he won so much money, gets smaller. They both have that same spike. This guy's parlaying. I'm going to get that. This guy here is doing a parlay on every bet in that spike. This guy here is not. He's just half pressing in the spike. He probably gets close to table max. This guy here for sure gets table max. And that's why he goes to $17,000. They both see the same spike. This guy is hammering that spike with those parlay bets. Now, when the table gets south, and you can see right here, it goes south for this guy. It goes south for this guy. It goes a little bit south for these people here. This guy here cannot handle the south. That parlay to the cows come home cannot handle a bad run at all. And you can see, if I get rid of my notes here, you can see the insane levels of volatility that we have. I'm going to put those notes back and delete them. The insane level of volatility that the parlay guy in the bottom right had. Super $17,000 he won, goes down to 0. Every time I run this, that guy goes to 0. He's the one that goes to 0. Nobody else ever goes to 0. That guy gets his butt kicked every time. Let's clear it out and run it one more time, just so you can see that I'm not BSing here. We'll do a new one. Let's see. I am not going to save it. I should clear everything out. Oh, crap. No. All right, we're all cleared out. Let's go ahead and give it, a new run. There we go. Wow, look at the spikes over there. Good Lord. This is going longer. The last one only went about 200 rolls. This one here is going to go for a minute. Look at that. He is crushing it. And look, oh my God, I got to stop it. Well, he stopped himself. Look at that. He was up over here. I'm looking at this guy here. He was up to $40,000 from 10,000. 40,000. Actually, I'll give you the exact numbers. You can see it. 40,448 to 0. Like he goes right into the toilet on a bad run, but he rocked that thing for 2 straight screens of monster action. Okay. Over here, the guy that's doing the half press, his total is 11,584. That was his best ever total. His lowest total was $7,900. And right now he's actually at 70. He's at 8K at the moment. Okay. He lost a couple thousand. He was up by about 1,500. The last time we did this, he was up by I think it was 13,000, and he lost about 500. So he's in the same general area. Over here again, we're at 11,760 for the high. He's currently at 10,400, and his worst was $9,600. Over here, interestingly enough, the 6 and 8 together this time, 10,800. So they're $1,000 behind the 6. There must have been a ton of 6s in this run. He's currently at 9,400, and at worst he was at 9,150. So this time, the win goes to the only playing the 6 guy versus the guy that played 2. Last time it was reversed. The person on the right here who's doing just a one-time parlay didn't do very well. He has 10,960 as his best score, currently at 8,900. So he did pretty much worst of everybody in terms of, well, not really. This guy here actually did the worst. This guy has the worst current score. So that's run 2. But again, mega volatility over here, which you'd expect when you're parlaying the crap out of everything. You're going to have huge spikes, but the spike over there, I think, is interesting. Let's run it again. Again, I'll do a third run just to, I think, at least get 3 so we can see it. Oh, I don't want to do that. Let's do game, new. Nope. Okay, here we go. I don't think I did it. Yeah, hold on. I hit the wrong button. Game, new. I don't want to save it. There we go. Oh, here we go. You can just see it again. The guy on the right, bottom right, look at the volatility. That dude's sweating the whole time. And again, he is the one that always ends the competition. He always goes to zero. Every time I've done this thing, that guy's been at zero. And the rest of them are relatively okay. This time it's actually pretty even. Look at this. Look at these numbers. Ended up here with 12,720 and never went below 10,000. This guy here, same thing, 11,680. Never went below 10,000 over here. 12,560. Clearly, we did not have a bad run of sevens. Down here, the half press forever guy, 10,257. He did at one point though go down to $7,000. So he experienced a bunch of loss down here, just like this guy did. Okay, why? These folks are getting out after one hit. These two are playing as long as they can play. Different story. Down here, 14,500. So again, intense volatility with the wins and with the losses. This time, he only outpaced the other guy by a couple $1,000, not like the 20,000 we saw last time. I want to run this again. Again, just because we have time, and why not? Let's make sure that we're not getting aberrations here. Last run. All right, here we go. They're all clear. Ah, shit. Yes. Okay, here we go. Oh, wait. He's already at zero for some reason. Stop. Let me stop. I screwed something up. Did I turn him off? Nope. I think I turned him off by mistake when I hit that prompt. Let's try. Let me reset it. New. No, I don't want to save it. Okay. Let's try it again. There we go. Sorry, I had turned. Wow, he went down to nothing quick. Battling back, though. This is a good long run. 500 rolls. And again, Mr. Wonderful over here goes to zero every time. How do we do? Just playing the six. His high score was 10,260. His low score was 8,600. 8,860, which is where he currently is, actually. Betting both. High score, 10,380, and currently at 87.30. By the way, 445 rolls. That's a good few hours at the table. The person running the parlay, the single parlay and come down, 10,365, and his worst was 89.85. These three really do feel the same. You can run either one of those ways of playing, just the six and the 8, or the 6 and 8 one-time parlay and come out, and pretty much live like right around zero. You're going to be where we've seen them all go about $1,000 or so down, and all go between $200 and $1,000 up. You're not going to have a lot of variance here. These graphs are pretty flat, right? A little bit more there, a little more variance in here, but they're relatively flat graphs. Here, when you're doing the half press, again, giant spike, giant spike. It's the same point in the time, right? When you're riding the wave and you're not doing one hit and down, and you're riding the wave like this, you're going to have way more of these downturns. See these two downturns here? Nobody else has that downturn. Well, he has it a little bit because of the parlay. He's out there for a second shot. They're only out here for one shot. They all see it, but they all see it differently because of the amount, the bet sizing. And again, over here, this guy here is at 13 for his best. And at worst, he was at $8,600. He ends up with 10,000. Over here, we're at 22,000. That's hard to read that. 22K at the high point. And again, every single time, 100% of the time, that guy runs out of money. So if you're going to play this way, which would be a lot of fun, I would play that with money I can afford to lose. That is like literally burn it with fire money, because you're going to probably burn it with fire. Okay. It's an interesting, fun way to play. When I roll it out at here, I've won in that strategy probably 80% of the time. I play this strategy here, I win. But I'm always in this beginning part where I get the early spike and I'm done and I'm out. right? If you stay here long enough, that one's going to chew you alive. The other ones seem to be pretty well steady and covering. I will run these again. Let's get out of here and come back to the other screen. I will run these again. I want to make sure that I'm on the keynote. Hold on a second. There we go. I'll do them again at some point where I'm running with the puck. I do want to see how these things work with the puck versus always battling the 7. Okay. And the reason why I say it's going to be interesting, and I don't have time to code it up right now, I just wanted to come live here, is because these big downturns that we saw, right? Those huge, and I can go back, I think, a little bit to that screen. Let's see here if I can show you kind of, well, you're not really going to see it that well. Here, close this thing out. These big downturns that we see here, this enormous, oh geez, this enormous set of stuff at the end, that's likely speaking right here and right here, that is not points being made. Okay, I can almost guarantee you, if I dig into the logs here, the bad stuff at the end, that's going to be a streak of come out 7s or 0.7s. It's going to be come out 7, come out 7, come out 7, set the point of 5, 7 out. It's going to be this like really gnarly like pocket of 7s that we see. Again, clusters of numbers happen. This thing cannot survive that. The other ones, because they're always going out at the same baseline, it's always $60 or $120 every single time. This guy here might have $1,000 on the line when that is happening. So that's why the volatility for those strategies is just too much to bear, in my opinion. So there we have it. That's the 6 and 8, 5 different ways. There are probably 50 other ways you can play it, right? And again, I've got this other screen here where I've shown you sort of all the ways you can do it, and ... means there's a bunch more ways you can do it. You know, you can do, if you explore a ladder or a Lavoisier or regressions, nothing. We're just looking at those numbers against a 7 on a purely mathematical basis. Fascinating stuff. I can do this kind of stuff all day long, and really, I think if that doesn't teach you something, just watching those things, you should walk away from that knowing, right? Or having an idea now of what you might want to avoid or jump into. Some people look at that and go, oh man, I'm betting the 6 all the time. I'm going to go the 6, one and done, and I'm not going to lose a lot. I'm not going to win a lot, but I'm going to be able to play all night long, right? That's fine, right? It's a low house edge bet. I might say, well, I'm going to get the 6 and the 8, right? And because there's little higher peaks on that guy's graph, I'll do that. You might say, I've got money to burn all the time. I'm independently wealthy and I don't care. I'm going to go ahead and drop that parlay strategy out there and see what happens. You might be the half press guy and just ride the wave. Half press guys riding the wave, and you can see how he kind of has those nice spikes when the streaks of 6s and 8s come. So there's information for you, right? I'm not going to tell you which way to do it. Make your own decision based on your risk intelligence or your risk aversion or how you embrace risk, right? If you want to be risky, if you want to be super chill, you got 5 ways there. I can run, again, 20 other ways on this thing, give you some ideas on what you can do. So anyway, that's it. Thanks for bearing with, and this is weird doing this show not live. It's live. I'm sitting here doing the whole thing, but we're not having the comments to kind of react to. So, but again, I'm watching it with you. As you know, I'm in the chat right now typing with you, so we're having a good time. Hopefully you guys are giving me a bunch of grief about some of this stuff, and I can answer questions as we go. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and sign off here and get back at it. So thanks for watching. Have a great Thursday. Have a great weekend if I don't see you for Friday Night Fights or even tonight on the Dice Jedi Deal Me In show. So with that said, I'm John. This is Pro Craps. Appreciate your subscriptions. Like the video. Tell your friends about it. Let's grow this channel, and I'll see you in the next one. God bless. Bye.